Well, welcome to the next of our short readings and reflections to be used in conjunction with communion service, this time our communion service on Wednesday, the 10th of June. I hope this finds you well. If you're wondering who I am, my name is David Gillard. And so a reading from the Bible. This reading has been taken from Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 to 16. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. I wonder how you have reflected on the events of the past 3 or 4 months. I know I have. Those questions of why? How do I cope? Does belief in God, what does that mean in a time such as this? Will I get out of this in one piece? What of those who won't? When you bring God into these discussions, this process is given a posh name, theological reflection. And you will not be surprised that many books have been written on theological reflection, and many different models have been drawn up to find the most effective way of doing that, depending whatever situation you are facing at the time. Here is a very simple model. It is known as the praxis model. And the idea is that you have an experience, you begin to analyze it, think about it, and then you bring your understanding of scripture, of tradition in on the conversation as you reflect on that. And a moment might happen, what this diagram calls a Kairos moment, a special moment in time, when a little bit of fresh insight is given, or you just begin to work out the next steps forward, and then you plan, and then you begin that reflective process yet again. The reading set by the Church for us today to consider is a brilliant Bible passage to use in such a situation. So assuming that we do not find ourselves in lockdown again over the next month, we are finally seeing some of our freedoms return to us, albeit in a socially distant way. I wonder how the experience of lockdown will shape you. I wonder what the experience, how that will affect your belief in God. I wonder what positives you will take from a time in our lives which has been and still is in many ways so black. Now, I do not want to limit the pain that this time has caused for many and will continue to cause for many. Yet as we tentatively begin to re-enter wider society, how can the experience best, most positively shape us, encourage and strengthen our belief in Jesus? The Bible passage set for today is a real challenge. We are the salt of the earth, Jesus says. Salt in Jesus' day was a preservative. In our day, it also enhances flavour. With those images in mind, as we leave lockdown, how will we act as preservers to people around us? How will we add flavour to their lives? For me, preserving is about helping, sustaining, offering new life to others. How can we do that? How can we bring something of our experience of the past months and do that? How can we let our creativity continue to shine, to add flavour for people? You know, one of the messages I've heard, I guess you will have heard too, is it's been good that people have been so helpful during this time, and the hope is there that that will continue. That is a form of reflective practice, drawing from a past event and hoping that it may happen in the future. For followers of Jesus, maybe the image of preserving and flavouring is about ensuring that kindness, that standing alongside those who find themselves powerless, looking out for the grieving, the unemployed, maybe those who have been so creative over the past months, adding fresh flavour to life, maybe we can encourage them to continue in that. Then there is the imagery in the reading of letting your light shine, of helping others to see that your trust in Jesus has helped you. So as you think about the past 4 months, how they have affected you, how has your trust in Jesus helped you? For me, it has kept me going. There is eternal hope, yes. The support of others praying is real, yes. There is also the support from the church community that keeps you bubbling along in a challenging time. And as we begin to leave lockdown, how may we be willing to share something of that with those who may want to hear our story? In your reflections, you may want to think through stories. What examples may you want to share when asked a question like, just how has your Christian belief helped you at this time? It's absolutely fine to think through what you may say before you get asked. For me, my story will be of the support offered from others, of how prayer has been a real strength to draw on at this time. Jesus wants our belief, our trust in him, our friendship with him to really stand for something, and for us to play our part in sharing that understanding with others. We as church need to think through how we will each individually want to do this. So as you reflect on the experiences of the past month or so, some questions for you to think about. What will you carry forward? What practices have you began that you want to continue? What will you draw from the experience of lockdown? How has your trust in Jesus supported you? How will you let your light shine? What stories will you tell? How will you add flavour to others who may want to know something about your trust in Jesus? I suggest that now is a good time to begin to think through those things.